Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 30 of the Big at the Back podcast. I'm Tom, I'm joined by Matt. We are almost at the end. Game Week 38 is on the horizon, so before that, we have one last podcast to bring you. Matt, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, like you say, the end is very much in sight now for this season. It's been quite a long one. But at least it wasn't interrupted by a World Cup this time around, so that was nice. But yeah, no, I think overall it's been a fun season, but we've still got this pod. We've still got a podcast that we'll do early next week. And we've still got Sunday to look forward to. So I'm looking forward to that. I know you're looking forward to that, but how are you?
I'm not sure I am looking forward to that. I'm still doing my challenge of running at least 5K every day in May, so the day after Sunday, the Monday is not going to be fun. I'll tell you what though, I got really drunk on Saturday watching Eurovision, and the run on Sunday in that blistering heat was like running through hell. It was the first 3.5 kilometers were okay, and after that last 1.5 kilometer was just it was torture in every sense of the word. I still did it, but oh god, it wasn't fun.
So it's right, really, doesn't it?
Probably. I probably deserve this in some way, shape, or form.
It's karma for something. I don't know what, but it's karma for something.
But yeah, I know we need to organise what we're actually doing on Sunday, but I know we're meeting up and drinking and using our Big at the Back betting fund. What's more to love?
Yeah, and I'll put this out to you now. Whatever we don't get through, we can roll over to the Euros, because I'm sure there'll be loads of super boosts for the Euros.
It's going to be chaotic.
Every single day.
I'm going to lose so much money. On Saturday as well, I lost pretty much all of my bets, and I made I never normally lose like money overall. I normally at least balance it out, but I ended up about £35 down, which doesn't happen. I've been on such a great streak recently. So then yesterday I put 20 quid in various bets on the game, and you know what? Until maybe the last minute, it looked like I would lose all of those as well. I managed to scrape it back with a bet builder, get it netting me basically what I put on initially. But I've been on a really shit streak recently.
Yeah, that's the good thing for me about cricket season being back. So Saturday, I didn't really bet at all. I had bets on the early game, and that was it. The rest of it, I was too busy. So that's. But then again, now the season's basically over, and then the Euros are going to come, and they're every day of the week. So, like you say, there's going to be so much money lost.
Yeah, and I definitely can wait for it. But you know, we'll deal with that when it comes to it. Now, Game Week 37 is not over yet. There's still, I think, 4 games left to play in Game Week 37. So still very much ongoing. 3 games left to play, sorry. So that is Spurs versus City this evening. Then on Wednesday, Brighton versus Chelsea and Man U versus Newcastle. But most of the games have been played. So how are you getting on?
Very well, which is nice. It makes a nice change. The bench boost has well and truly paid off. So, yeah, currently set on 89 points, which is almost exactly double the average for the week. So you will take that all day long. Currently, my starting 11, not that it matters, Petrovic has got 1, Burn 2, disappointed that they didn't. The Newcastle guys didn't do better on Saturday, but they've still got Man U to play, and that's an easy fixture. If Old Trafford hasn't fallen down by the time that game's meant to kick off. Porro with 9, Gvardy with 21. What a guy. Then the midfield, Son and Gordon with 2 apiece, Foden with 9, Palmer with 6. And then the strikers, the only one that's actually returned this so far is Nicholas Jackson. But my bench boost coming in clutch. Everyone on my bench has returned. Pickford with 8, Havertz with 6, White with 6, and Branthwaite with 6 for a grand total of 26 points in the bench boost.
That is a fantastic bench boost. As a general rule of thumb, with any chip, you want to be getting 20 points. So I don't think I've done that with any of my chips. So if you look at 3 hit, I don't think I made it to 20.
I don't think we made 20 overall.
triple captain. I did it with Haaland when he basically just got an assist, so I didn't get 3 points there. And bench boost, but it was just ended up just being Pickford because of injuries, and that was 18. So you've had an absolute blinder there. So I'm not on a bench boost, and I was conscious that most people around my rank were. So I took no hits this week and just thought, let's go for the obvious move, because sometimes keep it simple, stupid. Let's move Zabani to Gvardy, and that's worked out wonderfully. So I'm sitting on 69 points with obviously no bench boost, so a really good week so far.
Nice.
Glad the Arsenal clean. I know, nice. I'm so glad the Arsenal clean sheet stuck, though, because my double Arsenal defence of Gabriel and White could have really let me down. But yeah, Pickford has been amazing since I brought him in wildcard. Gvardy, we can talk about him more in a bit. Then returns from Palmer, from Foden, but nothing from Haaland as my captain, which is the one thing I was a little disappointed in. Like, Man City win 4-0, including a penalty, and Haaland wasn't on the pitch to take it. It just kind of sucks when you captain Haaland.
Yeah, it was disappointing, wasn't it? Like you say, and he had a really good chance as well. He was put through 1-on-1 and did the most un-Haaland thing and completely scuffed it, got underneath it, and it went miles over.
He's done that quite a lot this year.
You'd expect him to at least hit the target. Not that I'm bitter about the Super Boost not coming in, but yeah, no, it was a strange one. You'd have expected a lot better from that. But like we say, there's still a game left. Spurs are very open defensively, so there is still hope.
Well, Arsenal fans listening, plug your ears, because Spurs, I don't think they're going to do it. I don't hold up much hope for them tonight, in all honesty.
No, and if you could maybe make the argument, if Liverpool had held on and won last night, then they would have more to play for. But now it looks like the Champions League is done and dusted. So you would imagine that it will probably be a fairly comfortable City win.
Yeah, you've got to think so. An interesting game.
I would love a draw, though. I would love a draw. To take it down to the last day, it would be perfect. And then I can watch West Ham hand the title to Arsenal when they beat City in Moyes' last game.
Well, if it's a draw tonight between Spurs and City, then the title could go down to goal difference. And it's looking very close. Moyes' final game against Man City, Arsenal final game against Everton in the Premier League before they're deducted another 20 points and go down to the Championship. It's all to play for. I think, though, let's focus on fantasy football and let's preview game week 38, because the last game week of the season always tends to be an absolute banger. There's goals flying out everywhere. There's players returning who you would never expect. Last year, I think Bentancur and Son got me a combined 35 points or something ridiculous like that. There is just chaos everywhere. There's narratives being finished up. The title going to be decided. Relegation's already been decided, but then there's the top 6 that's going to be decided. Maybe the Champions League that's going to be decided. It's Klopp's last game. Fulham and Luton are going to have fun waving kites. It's all to play for. So, let's look at the fixtures and look at the teams we want to be targeting. And I think we need to start with the 2 title teams. So Arsenal and Manchester City. I think let's start with Manchester City because they're probably favourites at this point for the title. I think I've got the right 3 City players: Foden, Haaland, and Gvardy. You've got the same, right?
Yep, exactly the same for me. The only other person that I would potentially make a case for who seems to be picking up assists at the moment is KDB, but he's much more expensive. You can't not have Haaland because, especially against West Ham defensively, he could have an absolute field day. We've got probably the least mobile centre-back pairing in the league at the moment of Kurt Zouma and Angelo Ogbonna. So he will absolutely destroy them. If there's any space in behind at all, he will find it. And then Foden as well, I think, is the better option. He's getting more goals. He's a lot cheaper than KDB as well. And Gvardy has seemed to have been all of a sudden the best winger in the league.
Well, he's like João Cancelo without the jeopardy, I think. Because Cancelo, you were always like, will he play the 60 minutes? Will he even start? Will Pep have him on the bench? Will he get a stupid red card? Like, it was amazing, but there was always that bit of jeopardy. Gvardy is like Cancelo without the chaos. Just a really, really great player. He's a left-sided centre-back who's now basically playing as a left winger. Like, what's not to love?
This is just classic Pep, isn't it? He'll just buy, at the moment, a load of centre-backs and just play them everywhere across the pitch. Like, Gvardy was one of the best centre-backs at the World Cup for Croatia. He came in, sort of, took a little while to find his feet, but I think Pep does that quite well. He lets players develop over the first sort of year of coming into the Premier League, and then he just goes, actually, now you're going to play left wing, and they're going to be really good at it.
Yeah, I mean, the way that Pep's works it, though, he's playing Bernardo Silva on the right, who's got a crazy amount of technical expertise on and off the ball, which means that on the left, they can be a bit more dynamic, which suits Guardiola perfectly. Did you also see that he was offered the penalty to get the hat-trick, and he said, no, I'm not a penalty taker, Alvarez take it. Now, on FPL, I hate that because I wanted him taking a penalty, but in terms of the title race, given it could come down to goal difference, that I really, really like that. I much prefer that attitude to the Jackson for Chelsea trying to claim the penalty. So yeah, I thought what a guy, and he's a lock in my team for 38. I don't think, however, with West Ham's defence, you can go anywhere but Haaland if you're considering a City captain, right?
Yeah, it's got to be. It's the only option for me. I can easily see him getting a hat-trick on Sunday.
Yeah, so can I. But there are some differential captaincy options that I do want to speak to you about. Before that,
is it Jordan Pickford?
Before that, though, let's talk about Arsenal versus Everton, because while Jordan Pickford has been amazing, he could be my move out this week. I feel like Arsenal... I think Arsenal probably get a 1-0 or 2-0 win in this game, realistically. They didn't look great against Man U, but they got the job done. That centre-back pairing, again, came in clutch. But it's difficult to see Everton scoring here, and you've got to think Arsenal will get 1 or 2 goals.
Yeah, I mean, the two best defences in the league in terms of clean sheets this season. But being at the Emirates, and obviously Arsenal needing 3 points regardless, you could see if it was at Goodison, maybe it being a little more tricky, just with the close atmosphere that you've got there. The fans are really close to the pitch. But being at the Emirates, you've got to think it should be fairly comfortable for them. The way they've been playing recently, they've just been so in control that it's almost boring to watch, because it doesn't feel like there is any jeopardy. The only thing you might say is if it takes them 20, 25, 30 minutes before they get a goal, it could become a little bit tetchy.
Yeah, potentially. You can see the cards coming out in this one, can't you?
Oh, yes.
It feels like one of those games. Word on Saka, potentially down with an injury. He would have to have his leg chopped off to not play in a game where Arsenal could win the title. I'm not worried about him at all. Now, I'm not going to be making any transfers till Sunday morning, for obvious reasons, but
waiting for those last minute leaks.
Yeah.
And then everyone will be trying to make their transfers, and then it will crash and everyone will be complaining on Twitter.
I mean, stranger things have happened. But yeah, Saka for me would be a lock. And again, the fact that he's playing Everton, who are relatively good this year defensively, means I don't think he's a captaincy option. But he is still, for me, the best Arsenal asset to have outside of defence. You, however, went a slightly different route.
Yes, I did. I embraced the hate, and my transfer this week was Bruno out, with obviously his injury worries and the fact that Man United are shit. And I brought in Kai Havertz. And obviously he returned with 6 points. Again, like, with Arsenal at the moment, and I currently only have 2 Arsenal, so I do have 2 free transfers, so I think one of my transfers will be bringing in another Arsenal player. And I'm considering Leandro Trossard, because he just seems to be picking up points left, right and centre at the moment. But yeah, I think you can't go wrong with double Arsenal defence if that's where you're going as well. White's obviously the main one who seems to have been picking up loads of points this season, who I do have. You can't go wrong with Gabriel or Saliba. They've both been fantastic. You could even go Raya if you wanted to change a keeper and you haven't got 3 already. but I think that's probably unlikely for most people.
Yeah, so do I. Cool. A word on Pickford. He's been amazing, but I don't think if you've got an alternative keeper this week, play the alternative keeper.
Yeah, I mean, what's he on? Top scoring goalkeeper in FPL this season on 152 points.
Yeah, really
for a mid-table team, that is an incredible return.
Yeah. However,
I'm pretty sure I had him at the start of the season and he did fuck all.
Yeah,
and then I had to wildcard him out.
Yeah, and then he started picking points after everyone wildcarded him out. I remember.
Typical.
Another place that I think is worth going to is the battle for 4th or 5th place, depending on how you see it and depending on how tonight goes. Because if Spurs win tonight, then they're well in it. Villa playing Crystal Palace away, who have been very good. I know yesterday was they played Liverpool. Liverpool kind of just decided, let's take off every defensive player and have fun. And then Villa scored 2 goals. Kind of Klopp going, fuck it, I don't care. It's YOLO. Here's 4 substitutions to bring off all my defensive players like Darwin, Sabazway, etc. So, yeah, fair enough. But realistically, Villa did look completely knackered for that whole game. I think they could get really challenged by Crystal Palace away, who have been in really good form. Spurs, however, play Sheffield United. And while it is away, Sheffield United had the worst defence in Premier League history. They conceded over 100 goals this season. I feel sorry for anyone that brought in Richarlison because his injury happened after the Friday press conferences. So if you listen to the Friday press conferences, Richarlison's fine, I'll bring him in. Then his injury happens afterwards. That's just really bad luck. But I think Heung-min Son is a potential really nice differential captain option for this week. Against a really poor Sheffield United team, he's the main source of goals. He's on penalties. It could be, if you don't want to go Haaland for whatever reason, you're chasing and need to make up ground, I think Son is a great option as an alternative. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's definitely an argument to be had that it's a good idea. I think if you are looking that way, there's worse places to go, but I don't know. I don't feel like I can put any of my eggs in the Spurs basket at the moment, especially if there's nothing to play for after tonight. That will obviously have a big say on things. So it's a nice idea if you really want to be a differential and be cute about it, but I don't know. I don't think I could bring myself to do it.
I'll also note that Sheffield United would have had 8 days rest before this game. Spurs will have had 5. So that is an extra 3 days Sheffield United have had to prepare for this match.
Yeah, that is also a good point. And it could be like a bit of a... You see these games come up at the end of the season, an already relegated team at home, they don't care, so they just go and have fun. So you could easily see them winning, or you could easily see them shipping another 7 goals.
It could be either way. The other narrative to touch on, Klopp's last game at Anfield against a Wolves side that aren't playing very well, that are still got a bunch of injuries. Mo Salah has to be in the conversation. And as a Liverpool fan, I think there's a possibility I take a -4 to get Mo back in for my sins.
Oh, did you watch the game last night?
Yeah, but it's at Anfield.
So?
I mean,
like, don't get me wrong. I could see that he gets a return or two, but just watching them play at the moment, he just seems so out of the game.
I think yesterday that was true. And the game before that, he was absolutely monstrous. He was really, really good. So I don't think that's necessarily true. The one thing I would say is I thought Trent was awesome yesterday. Had 2 shots on target as well. So that's a potential fun differential option if you wanted to go a bit rogue and a bit wild. Maybe not as a captaincy option, but if you wanted to get a bit wild, then I don't hate the Trent pick either.
Yeah, I can see that one a little bit more maybe, but again, it's one of those where there's nothing to play for. I know Wolves are in bad form at the moment, so I can understand you wanting to go somewhere like that, but I just don't think I can really bring myself to do it. I guess there is maybe going to be that party atmosphere around with Klopp's last game, so there's probably worse ideas. But again, I think you're trying to be. I wouldn't go Salah on a -4 unless you're going to captain him, and I don't want to captain him.
I can go Mitchell.
Home.
Oh no, I can't go Mitchell. I can go Gabriel to Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Go on then, do it.
That sounds fun for the last game of the season, doesn't it?
Sounds like a terrible idea, though.
Just as a bit of a YOLO, Klopp's last game, I think that could be really fun. I may go that way. But that's the Liverpool fan in me. Realistically, I shouldn't be doing that, and I shouldn't be considering that. But it's a Liverpool fan in me wanting a bit of fun.
Go on then, do it. I dare you.
I'll wait till Sunday morning. Let's see how I feel. The other place to go, I think, from an FPL standpoint, is Chelsea, because they play Bournemouth at home. Bournemouth, who have to travel up to London, who have looked completely out of sorts lately. I think Cole Palmer is an option. I think also, as much as he's a cunt, Madueke is an option as well. Just if you wanted to talk about differential options and differential players, it could be a bit of fun.
Yeah, that one I can see a little bit more, like you say. Chelsea, especially at home, they've been really good over the last couple of months. They're creating a lot of chances, so there's definitely points to be had there. I think Palmer is a genuine captaincy option, but it's one of those, it's like, do you really think that he's going to outperform someone like Haaland, who is really got something to play for?
I mean, yeah, I know you're correct, but also
that's not something you hear very often. You know that I'm correct.
I know you're correct, but also it doesn't sound as fun. Like, you know.
No, I agree.
It's game of 38. Let's roll the dice a bit. Let's be fun. Like,
YOLO!
Neither of us are going to win FPL without going a little bit crazy. So we'll see.
I don't think either of us are going to win FPL, Tom.
You never know. Maybe if I captain Pedro Porro.
Yeah, true.
Where else would we be looking at potentially going then? Manchester United, we just don't go near, right? As a general rule.
Yeah, stay well clear. I'm sure I heard this, and I should have gone back and double checked this. But as of the weekend just gone, Man United have conceded more shots on target in this season than Derby in the season that they went down with 12 points or whatever it was.
Wow. That's incredible if true. I also sent the stat in our chat that this is the first Premier League title race ever that's gone down to the final day that's not included either Liverpool or Manchester United. So a little bit of history being made all over the shop here. Man U should not be as high as they are in the Premier League table. It's ridiculous that they are. They are a bottom half team, and I really hope Erik ten Hag stays.
I don't think you're going to be getting that wish, Tom.
Well, you know, if they get Tuchel, then I'll be sad because he's a really good manager. If they get Southgate, I'll be fine with that.
Sounds like Bayern are now thinking about keeping Tuchel. They're sort of like they're
getting rejected by everyone, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Like they were apparently the latest rumor as of yesterday was Oliver Glasner at Palace, but obviously they'd have to pay a lot of money to get him out of his contract, seeing as he's only just started there.
It was actually that he said no to them, and then they fed to that German newspaper Blitz that they had to pay a lot of money, and that's why it's not happening. When in reality, it was just that he said no. They're just trying to.
Which I don't blame him at the moment, to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, I know they're in a Champions League. Well, they're not in a Champions League final because they bottled it, but they have had a good season in the Champions League, but obviously completely threw away the league. The Harry Kane curse continues.
And long may it continue, except for the summer. I want Harry Kane to be an international football legend and club football flop.
I mean, I can definitely see it happening.
Well, let's hope it does in the Euros. Maybe worth looking at Newcastle as well. Lots of people are going to be in on their assets. Still kind of got something to play for, I guess.
Yeah, they do. I'm just looking at the table now. So they're in sixth. They want to be holding on to that to ensure they get Europa League and not Conference League. So obviously it's Chelsea just below them on the same points, but with a worse goal difference. So they will definitely be holding out for that. So they will need the win.
So it could be a bit of fun going for treble Newcastle.
Yeah, I don't see any reason not to. I'm trebled up, so.
Are you? What 3 have you got?
I've got Burn, Gordon, and Isak. Although Gordon might come out for, like I say, Trossard.
Yeah, he's one for me that I'm not super satisfied with, especially away. He's not nearly as good away from home.
Yeah, he's been very good at home.
Yeah, I could see myself bringing Gordon out for someone a bit rogue and a bit more fun. Maybe even like a James Maddison against Sheffield United, because he could really have a lot of fun. So, yeah, we'll see on that. But he's the one midfielder I have that I'm not super satisfied with.
Yeah.
Anywhere else that we think is worth going to?
I know we've sort of spoken about the game, but the Palace assets, Elise, Mateta, and Eze at the moment, are just firing on all cylinders. They got a home game last. I know it's Villa, but Villa, obviously, we saw yesterday, they do look a little bit leggy at times. They gave away a lot of chances. And the way they've got them 3 playing at the moment and linking up, I would happily have any of those 3 in my team. And Elise is one I'm considering as well for Gordon.
Yeah, maybe I go Gordon to Elise or Gordon to Eze. The FPL team app says I should do Gordon to Eze on my team for this week. I mean, I don't ever listen to it, but I think...
No.
It's not the worst idea in the world.
I mean, like I say, they are outside of the top 2, they're the informed team in the league at the moment. Yeah. And those 3 are at the heart of everything. Each got a goal at the weekend. And I'd be surprised if all 3 are still at Palace next season.
Oh, yeah, I think at least one of them is going. Most likely, I think, Elise.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing that might put people off is his injury record.
Yeah, in that case, Eze. I don't think Mateta's going anywhere. I think he's going to be there next season.
I think I heard a stat yesterday. So Palace's win rate with Eze in their starting 11 is 40%. Without, it's 9%.
Wow.
So he is the key for them.
Yeah, that's a huge difference. Yeah, much needed then. Captaincy for the week. Now, I know we've touched on a few. I think there's 4 or 5 different options. Now, the best one is Erling Haaland. But if, for argument's sake, you didn't want to captain Erling Haaland, maybe you're chasing a rival in the mini league, or maybe you just want to have a bit of fun and be different, where would your armband go?
Kai Havertz. I mean, that's not the worst shout in the world, but like with how sort of tighter Everton are at the back, I don't think it's necessarily a great shout. I mean, Gvardy wouldn't be the worst shout with his returns at the moment. You look at the last 5 weeks, 12, 6, 15, 6, 21. So I would hazard a guess that there's not been a higher scoring player in FPL over the last 5 weeks.
I think the other place to look at going, I think you mentioned it earlier, I think you're looking at Son and Palmer as the alternatives. They're the only real alternatives to Erling Haaland this week, I would say.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I mean, you've got to go with someone that's got something to play for, I think.
Salah, Klopp's last game, Mo Salah, like, you know...
How funny would it be if you didn't start Salah in his last game?
That would be a real fuck-off moment, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But that's why he's starting Harvey Elliott all the time now, because he's like, I wish I gave Harvey more game time. So he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to start Harvey Elliott in every single game.
Bring back Curtis Jones. Get him in there. Captain him.
Absolutely not. That could be a bit of fun, actually. Gordon's Harvey Elliott. He's been getting forward. He's taking a lot of shots. He's on that right-hand side alongside Salah. I probably wouldn't do it, but, you know, we'll see.
Well, I reckon you could do it. Give it a go. Go on. Why not?
We'll see. We'll see how fruity I feel on Sunday morning after 5 or 6 beers.
Oh, it's going to be carnage.
Oh, it's going to be the death of us all. Cool. Worth talking about the joint team, or is that just a lost cause now? Did we even make the transfers?
I don't think so. Let's just pretend that never happened and we go again next year.
Well, we've had the betting fund this year as well. Let's just focus on one thing at a time, shall we?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, look, that is basically a wrap for us this year. It's been a fun season. We'll be back next Monday or Tuesday, just wrapping everything up and previewing some of the European Championships. Otherwise, you can find us on Twitter. We're always talking shit at Big at the Back.
You're always talking shit. I'm at Higgins92. Tom is at Tom Madden92. And yeah, remember, guys, Sunday morning deadline, Sunday afternoon deadline in the end. Keep an eye out for those team leaks and save your transfers for after those press conferences. But yeah, enjoy the last weekend.
Good luck, everyone. Bye-bye.